So this was in 6th grade or 7th. It was 7th grade, 3rd period. It was science class. And the teacher's not here, right? She's late. And my friend is besides me, right? He's this weird dude, is extremely horny for some reason. And he randomly starts talking about ass and titties and shit. Like he's mad horny for some reason. And his crush is sitting like 2 benches apart from her. So our class layout is like this, right? We have 3 rows. My friend and I'm sitting on this other row besides the wall and the third last bench. So he's basically covered from the right side and I cover him from the left side. And he gets even more weird. He looks at his crush and he's like, I'd like to eat her and shit. I'm like, yo bro, calm down. We are in class. Why are you like this? And he's like, can you cover me?
Huh?
He unzips his pants, takes his dick out, and starts stroking in front of me. I'm over here dumbfounded like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? In class, motherfucker? Are you serious? He ignores me and he keeps stroking his shit with his fingers. Like he wasn't even grabbing his dick properly. Like, you know how you would masturbate usual. He was rubbing one out with his fingers. He was wanking his shit with his fingers. Like, it wasn't even hard or anything. Man was flaccid. His pee-pee was flaccid and he was still stroking it. So I look at him. He's in this weird trance-like state. So the teacher finally shows up and it's like a whole jump scare because I'm looking at him doing this bullshit and he's also masturbating, right? The teacher shows up and she's like, yo, class, what's up? She's asking the students, where did we left last time? And some student replies and she continues on with the class, right? So she makes us read the chapters, right? She starts from the middle row, tells us to read, and then switch with the next student after reading like one paragraph. So I start focusing, right? I don't want to lose track of what's being read. So, I'm focusing and I start hearing noises from my right side again. So I look at my friend, right? And this man is rubbing through his pants. He's stroking his shit again through his pants. And then he sees me and he unzips his pant again and he tries to rub one out with the same style. He uses his fingies and shit. It's so weird. I look up at his face. This man is staring right at me and says, "Wanna suck?" Are you serious, bro? How is this possible? I just stare at him. I'm like dumbfounded because I couldn't even say anything back to him because I'm just too surprised. I'm shook it. I can't just yell, "Yo, this man's jerking off here." Since I knew the guy, it's like we have been friends for a whole year, so I can't just expose him like this because it's a fucking weird ass scenario, right? I'm also like trying to somewhat cover him because if he gets caught, then it makes us both look suspicious. Like, yo, you jerk off in class? What the fuck? So that was my thought process. It's weird, but as a child, I was thinking like that. So anyways, people are reading, right? People are reading, and the first student in our row, he stands up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's about to be us because it's our row, right? He's reading, and this motherfucker is still stroking his shit. So I asked the girl in front of me, I'm like, yo, where is he reading exactly? And she tells me, I'm like, alright. I pay attention again. I ignore whatever he's doing. I just pay attention. This man is still stroking. He's starting to stroke even harder. Like the chair was kind of shaking. I'm over here getting distracted by this guy. So he's leaning into the desk to hide the fact that he's stroking, but you could still tell, it's kind of moving, but for some reason people aren't really paying attention because it wasn't like our desk wasn't really connected and there was nobody behind us, a lot of absentees. So the girl in front of us, she stands up and she's reading, right? It's about to be our turn. And I see this guy, he's still going on. It's about to be my turn, right? I stand up, I'm sweating because this guy's doing his bullshit and I can't really do anything about it. I just read. I'm getting nervous, like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Why are you doing this right now? And I didn't want to get caught up in this, right? So I just read, but I can't focus. And I end up misreading a lot of stuff. I stutter a lot. And my teacher notices and she's like, yo, you good, bro? I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of nervous. She's like, all right, keep reading. Then I keep reading and I see my friend finally stops. He lays his head down. He's calmed down. He finally gets it over with. He finally nuts or something. Then I sit down. Then he stands up and he reads as if nothing happened. I don't even know how the fuck he managed to, know where the fuck people were reading. He stands up. He reads perfectly from where I left off. And, it's as if like nothing happened. So the bell rings. Teacher's like, all right, we'll keep it at that. And then he asks for my permission to go to the toilet. He goes and the seat's all open now. I'm all alone. I smell the filth coming out of him, right? I see down on the floor, his nut is there. So it's not like, basically it's confirmed that he actually came. So I move back. I sit on the last bench because I'm never sitting with this guy again. And the girl in front of me was like, yo, what is this smell? Because, the guy just moved and the smell was coming off of him. And she's like, did he shit or something? What happened? I just look at her all weird. I'm like, what? No, whatever. It's all awkward, bro. I'm like stuttering, and I go back to the last seat and I sit there. I switch places. I never sit with him again, right? Ever again. I don't tell about this to anybody because, like, who the fuck is gonna believe me? It's such a weird ass scenario. So I just sit in the last bench. I don't do anything about it. 2 days pass. I'm sitting with this other friend of mine, and behind me, like 2 benches behind me, the same dude is sitting with my other friend. Now looking at him, I'm like kind of scared for my other friend because he's doing this weird shit. He just wanked 2 days ago, who was wanking his shit in front of me. So I'm kind of scared, like, what the fuck is he gonna do now? But I noticed they was kind of just chilling, so I thought, maybe he's not gonna do it. Maybe he was horny. I don't know what my thought process was at that time. I ignore it. I just sit down, and another teacher, it's another period. We sit down and the teacher's talking. I'm paying attention to the class, right? So the person in the last bench had like this metallic bottle, the one that makes a lot of noise when it's dropped down. And because it dropped down, it's like we got distracted, and I looked back at that direction, right, where my friends was at. So I look behind, right? My friend is all horrified for some reason. His eyes are wide open. And I see the other dude who stroked his shit, 2 days ago. His hands are under his desk. And I realized that my friend is witnessing the same shit that happened to me. Now, I couldn't do anything about that. So I just turn back and pretend as if nothing happened. The class is over. He changes his desk again. And he comes talk to me and is like, yo, this motherfucker was wanking his shit off. Like, yeah, that happened to me too. And he's like, why didn't you complain to the teacher then? Like, bro, if I did, then he would have probably zipped his pants back up, and I'm the one who's looking like a weirdo. That was my thought process. That was the excuse that I came up with. The thing is, I was just shocked. I didn't know what the fuck to do. But on the fly, I made that excuse, and he was like, you know what, that makes sense. And, I mean, it did make sense. Imagine if somebody is jerking off right in front of you, and it's just like, yo, this motherfucker is jerking off. Like, it's such a weird claim. Who the fuck is gonna believe you when you say that somebody in class is jerking off? Nobody believes that. Maybe now because everybody is a fucking weirdo, but this is like back during fucking, what is this, 2018, 2017? Right before COVID, basically. Like, no student would dare to jerk off in class. Who does that?